Can you give me an example what that looks like? Like play that out for me in terms of where I mean, there's a thousand things that come to mind. What comes to mind for you in areas that, one, two, or three areas that might be improved?
Well, a couple of things. One, like it or not, buyer expectation had changed. People that are using ChatGPT. I spoke with a friend that is working at Microsoft, and they just introduced the Office 365 Copilot. His eyes were shining when he actually spoke about the type of experience he's having right now in his day-to-day. How his day is actually much improved. He's doing a much better job. Think of the Apple Vision Pro. Those are things that completely change the experience. But in go-to-market, we haven't done this. Again, you have to speak with people. You have to, we're socially hacking our potential prospects, potential customers, just to make sure they answer the phone or just to make sure they answer the email. So I think in terms of experience, companies that are not going to provide a much better experience to the buyer are actually going to lose. So that's one thing. The second thing is that I believe that, sales should be based on value. And unfortunately, I see quite a few companies that are really proud that, the SDR team is the best because they can convince everybody to pick up the phone, or their sellers can sell anything to anybody. And I think, I think we need to change it. I think we really need to focus on value. And that's for me also a part of an experience. How do we enable the buyer in 5 seconds, in 10 seconds, in 1 minute, because they don't want to allow or afford any more time for it? How can we allow them to understand that this is right for them? We don't want to social hack the, hey, let's talk about your baseball team or your basketball team. We really want to be focusing on value. And I think technology with the right content, with the right experience, is going to be able to solve that.
Let's dive in a little bit deeper. We're talking about technology, but we're also talking about humans.
Yes.
And, I suppose we're talking a little bit about AI, both AI and technology on the full spectrum. How do we create the right mix? Or is there the right mix?
Yeah, that's a question that I'm getting a lot, and I've been thinking about this a lot. But you know what? I've done a presentation to a group of 400 founders about 2 weeks ago, and I've asked, okay, anybody in the room that likes to speak with a junior salesperson, please raise their hand. Nothing, of course. Everybody in the room that actually wants to get a spam email, raise your hand. Nobody did it. But yet we are doing it to our customers. And I've done it before in my previous company. So I think there are parts in the go-to-market motions that don't necessarily need a human being and don't necessarily need a person. What they do need is a trusted advisor. So again, as a prospect, what I really need, at least for the first part of the journey, is really quick understanding without any effort whether this product is good for me or not. Imagine you can go, to a website of a company, and you know that you can pick the brain of the founder. Yeah, you would be happy to actually, speak or chat with something like this. But if I'm going to tell you, you have to speak with a junior person that between us, we know that their job is simply to just push us along the journey, right? They need to discover a bit and qualify, but we're not getting any value. So I think that part, technology and AI, can actually do a much better job creating a relationship between the buyer and the company better than a junior person. Further ahead in the process, I think it really depends on the product. If you're buying a $500,000 product, you need to buy with people, and there's nothing that can replace that. If you're buying, a simple product, $10,000 product, maybe you don't need to. But I think, Ryan, each one of us actually buys differently. Some people say, I don't want to speak with anybody. If you're selling to a technical audience, they don't want to speak with anybody. You can force them that. Other people say, no, I have to speak with anybody. Some people like to see, long videos to understand. Some of us like to actually just read the shortcut in the email. We buy in a different way. And that's also what I think about the human relationship in the sales process. It's really personal. It's really different. And we can't force what we think as a company onto our buyers.